If you've been searching on how to day trade stocks in the market, then you have found the perfect video because I'm going to be exposing my entire strategy of how I've made hundreds of thousands of dollars in the market with this simple setup. And I mean it. It is really simple. There's no indicators, no crazy formulas, no crazy math, but just simple, effective risk management combined with technical analysis. And I'm going to be showing you exactly how we traded this strategy today in TradeBuddy on 2 live trades that we did that both made amazing money, and traders in the room made amazing money as well. So that being said, if you've been watching this channel or you're new, be sure to leave a comment down below of what videos you want to see in the future. And like I said, not going to waste your time, so let's just get right into the video. So first off, the main thing I really want to stress is just kind of the background of what this strategy is and how it works and how effective it really is. So I know that if you've been searching on how to trade, then you probably have a chart with maybe Bollinger Bands, maybe 50 moving average, maybe 30 moving average, all these different things to make you kind of feel like you know what you're looking at. But in reality, you and I both know that you don't know what you're looking at, right? And trust me, if you go back to my videos 5 years ago, I had the same exact things. But since then, I have learned that whenever those indicators work, well, it's usually because simple levels of resistance and support also worked, right? So my entire strategy is based on mainly psychology of understanding how people are buying and selling. And that's what horizontal levels and price levels really kind of benefit off of. So the best way to describe my strategy is just using previous resistance as new support. And ideally in small caps, it's the pre-market high as new support. So let's just kind of jump into the charts right now. You can see ICAD, this was a stock that didn't really have much action in pre-market, but it did set a pre-market high. So as far as how I look at my charts, number one, I mainly use the 5-minute chart. Never, ever, ever use the 1-minute chart. It is just, it's a plague, it's a disease. Don't look at it. And then also to make the levels very simple, use the line chart because it just kind of simplifies and shows you exactly where the points are. So you can see here in pre-market, we had this pre-market high at 232. So then from here, there's no real trade yet to make. But then you can see after market open, volume came in, buyers rushed into it, and it was able to break out over new highs. And it had a big breakout, right? It went from 230s up to 260, 270, 285. That's a big breakout. So now from here, we have a trade strategy. So like I said, this is using previous resistance as new support. Now, there is an actual effective way to plan this with risk management in mind. So the reason why this setup is so effective is because when you wait for this type of chart, you get the levels made for you. Number one, we know that the entry price in the thesis level is 232. It's that pre-market high. The max loss is always going to be the next support lower, which is right here at 216. And then the first target is that first intraday resistance at 285. So boom, the trade's planned for you. And you could just look at this trade and know that there is good risk reward. We take it a step further though, because in TradeBuddy, we have what's called the trade planner. And what the trade planner does is it literally just plans the trade for you and manages the risk for you right away. Because the most important thing with trading is to plan from risk management first. And the easiest way to do that is to ensure that the size you're taking will allow you to never exceed your max loss. So you can see here, say we have a $10,000 account. The max you can lose on any one trade is $200, 2%. So we're going to say, right, entry price is 232. Max loss, as we said, next support lower at 215. And the first target is at 285. And you can see that this trade has an R value of 3.12, which is really damn good. And it goes a step further because it tells us that the most shares we can use is 1,176 shares. So this means that if you buy that many shares at 232, and it stops you at your max loss, the most you'll lose is $200. But it even goes a step further than that because it also tells you how many shares you should sell if you want to cover or make your max loss back at the first target. So here in this case, right, take this trade, go long 1.2K shares. Once it hits 285, you sell 377, you make $200. And then you still have 900 shares left over. So if it goes even higher, you're just banking and making a lot of money on that day trade, right? So this is a very, very powerful tool that we've developed at TradeBuddy. So with this setup, you need to have 3 main levels. Entry price is going to be the pre-market high as new support. your max loss is going to be that next support lower, and your first target is going to be that first intraday resistance. And you only want to take this trade when the chart is set up in a way where the R value is above 1. If it's not, then just don't take it. So you can see, boom, before it even pulls back, we know that if it pulls back to 232, you want to buy there. So you can just send a limit buy there and wait for it to pull back. Once it pulls back and you get filled, boom, you're in the trade. You can see this one had a very big pullback, right? And most traders, when they see this drop, they're going to be kind of scared. But that's why I say, if you just plan it before and you just send a limit buy, you can't hesitate, because if it hits your price, you get filled and you get the best price. And then from there, the main thing is that as long as it holds previous resistance as new support, you stay in the trade. And you can see this had a perfect hold. It tested it again, held it perfectly. And then it just needs that patience, right? This is where paper trading and just doing this setup over and over again comes into play, because you have to follow the rules. What a lot of traders would do in this case is that they would get kind of nervous. They would see it pop up to VWAP and they would see the big green in their account and they would get kind of cold feet and sell right away. But you have to stick to this system and wait for that target. If it doesn't reach that target, it's not a winning trade. Eventually, squeezed up, broke over VWAP, and then boom, you get that first partial into that 285. And then from there, you've locked in $200, right? You've locked in your 2%. And then from there, let it break out. And as soon as it breaks out, now the main plan is, once again, as long as previous resistance can hold as new support, this stock is still bullish. So give it the time it needs. And as far as finding next levels ahead, what we like to do is use the weekly chart. So not the daily chart, but the weekly chart. So each candle here is 1 week. And if you just use, once again, the line chart, you can see that the next main level is up near 373. If you go left and up, 373 and up at 412. So between 285 and 373, as long as it holds previous resistance as new support, you can hold on for that bigger move. And you can see this thing ran right to 370s. Now imagine you had that $10,000 account, you sold your shares at the first target, you have like 900 shares left over, and it goes up another $1.50 per share. That's over a $1,500 gain on just one trade, which is pretty amazing and really rapid growth for a small cap account. Using previous resistance as new support on small caps is usually going to be pre-market high as new support. So that's the example on ICAD. But we have another one, right? Just to kind of show you that this actually works. You look at RBT, same exact setup. You can see here that we have the pre-market high right near 51 cents. This stock had that breakout in the afternoon, went up to like 60 cents. So then from there, you can plan a trade, right? We know that the entry price is going to be 50 cents. Now, in this case, I modified it myself because it didn't really make sense to use 40 cents as max loss. I used the VWAP right near 45. And then once again, first target at 59. So once again, if you use a $10,000 account, go long 51 cents, max loss 45, first target 59. This is a positive trade. Not as good of a trade as ICAD, but it still is a positive R value. At this point, right, before it's even pulled back, you can plan the trade, right? You can see this ahead of time. You don't know if it's gonna work, but if it does pull back and fill your shares, you get the best price possible. This one, you can see it pulled back, bounced off of 50 cents perfectly. I got filled in this one actually. And then I just right when I got filled, I set a limit sell at 59.5 because I knew that's where I want to sell, right? You don't need to react to this in real time. You can plan this ahead of time and let the market just do its thing for you. You can see it bounced up. I got filled on this trade. I locked in my first partial. And then because this wasn't a failed breakout, I just said, all right, as long as it holds 50 cents, I'm going to hold the rest. I'm going to swing it. It pulled back down here, but it made a higher low, so it was still bullish. And then you can see in the after hours, it squeezed up, broke out over 59, went to the 70 cent area, 67 cents, locked in some more partials there. And then you can see if this wanted to remain bullish, it needed to hold 60 cents as support, and it didn't. It broke down. It broke down right here. So because that failed the plan, I sold the rest, locked in the rest at 59 cents from 50 cents. Not as big of a trade as ICAD, but still a very powerful one. And yeah, same exact system, same exact strategy. You don't need to make it complicated. Just use simple horizontal levels, manage your risk, plan the trade, and then just take the risk, right? The only two things you can do in the market is make a plan and take the risk. Everything else is just speculation. And we have the tools at TradeBuddy that you need to succeed. And we have the systems that actually work and traders use every single day. So with that being said, that is the lesson for today. If you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment down below. If you want to join us in TradeBuddy, we have a free 14-day trial where you can join us, take our course, learn everything, watch the daily webinars. If you don't like it, cancel, no hassle at all. All right. So if you want to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe and I'll see you in the next video.